Heroes, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Hashtag Show. This one is, I've got a guest in today. A good friend of mine, Steven Halcrow. We met a long time ago when we were both freshling open spots, starting out in the world of comedy. Steven then went back to his roots of being an amazing chef. And today's conversation is all about that. It's about his travels, about time that he spent in Cambodia. The Cambodia stories are amazing. Yes, running food tours in Cambodia, working in Michelin restaurants, just the turmoils and tribulations of being a chef, and lots of different anecdotes and stories along the way. It's a brilliant episode, over 2 hours long. As always, full episode goes out to the heroes only on Patreon. So if you are not yet a hashtag hero, please do consider becoming one. It's the best way to support the show. You do that by going to the hashtagshow.co.uk, following the links, or going to Patreon, patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the hashtag show. You will get this episode in full and every other episode in its entirety. So when this episode ends, for the council on Spotify, the episode continues for heroes on Patreon. So please do consider becoming a hashtag hero today. Like I said, it's the best way to support the show. If you can't become a hero, you can support the show by simply liking, subscribing and sharing. It costs nothing to do so, and it really will help me out try and build those numbers. So follow the show on Spotify, leave a wee review if you've enjoyed it, share it onto your socials, encourage people to listen, steal their phones, subscribe to the podcast for them, make them listen to it. It's brilliant, and help build the show. So that's it. Sit back, enjoy this episode. It was a pleasure talking to Steven. I'm sure I'll have him back in the studio again at some point because there's lots more that we can talk about. So yeah, sit back, turn the volume up, and enjoy the wonderful stories of Cambodia and the other madness that we talk about. I will speak to you all next week. Lots of interesting guests coming up. And enjoy the episode. Have a great week. Look after yourself. Stay safe. Here's Steven.
Welcome to the hashtag show. Everyone's welcome. No one is safe. Welcome to the hashtag show.
You know, thinking that was the reason why I drank too much, because you're raised in this culture. Like everyone has a drinking problem that you run into, especially growing up in our generation.
But also, let me just say right off the bat, you could drink. Like it's not as if it's not like you're not like the type of person who, you've got a drinking problem. You have like 4 pints. I mean, you could drink.
Right.
So.
Well, I would drink for days.
Aye, but then there would be some of us would go, well, then that's not a problem. We can just drink what the fuck. A drinking problem would be, he said 8 pints and he can't move. No Halcrow. He's gone days.
Well, the thing was, I think it got to the stage where I would have killed somebody, or I'd have killed myself, or I'd have done something that was really fucking bad. I'd blacking out too much, especially on that trip. But she's American, and so she wasn't necessarily, and she'd lived in Ireland as well, but I don't think she was necessarily used to this idea. She'd heard that Scottish people can drink a lot, but the way that I was drinking, like there were no Scottish people around. And so I'm drinking like a Scottish person in a situation where no one else
in
is
a
Scottish.
non-Scottish environment.
Right. Okay, and so it is.
That's when your drinking then becomes...
It's a problem. Yeah, right. It's a big problem.
I'm going to either have to get more Scottish people in Cambodia or tolerate my drinking.
And I think that's the reason why none of the Scottish people I knew in Cambodia really hung out with each other. They all needed their space to be the Scottish person. You know what I mean? Because there was too many of them.
You need fuck off, mate. I've built a life here. You can't come in and ruin this.
Turf, you know what I mean? But no, she was kind of like that. I think you might have a problem with this. And so I stopped drinking then, and I came back to Scotland. That's when I started working in Andrew Fairley's. It's a 2-star restaurant, and it was a good experience. I became very technically proficient. I wasn't there for that long because she came over to visit me, and like I'm working like 15 hours a day, and she's an octorarder for 15 hours a day.
Yep.
And what do you do? Like the highlight of her day is going to the co-op.
Yeah.
Literally going to the fucking co-op. And so she spent 2 weeks there. You know, it was nice to see her. We kind of cut about and stuff like that. And then she went back to Cambodia and she called and was like, listen, see, instead of me moving there, why don't you move here? I need all sorts of visas. We need all kinds of money to make that happen. You can just turn up and pay at the door. Do you know what I mean? And so I was like...
And you can get out of Scotland.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the opportunity to go and work for myself, the opportunity to immerse myself in another culture, learn a language, learn a lot about something else, including myself. You know, I mean, it was a real kind of voyage of discovery for me too, because all of a sudden you're in this environment where everything's foreign.
Yeah, I also couldn't imagine a more... I don't want to say foreign land as if like, you know, but you literally could not imagine a more opposite place than Cambodia from Scotland.
Yeah. It's, I mean, even right down to, I mean, the people were so kind. They're so sound. Generally speaking, day to day, everyone you meet is really fucking nice. You know what I mean? And they don't stress about things. Like, I mean, I had terrible road rage. You know, like I took a wrong turn coming here today.
Like doesn't sound like a Scotsman who likes a drink.
It's because I'm from Glasgow, right? It's not me. It's not me. It's
Mate,
the place.
It's your upbringing.
It's a place,
It's nurture,
right?
not nature.
Right. So like you go to Cambodia and all of a sudden, like, just to take the roads for one tiny example, no rules. Everyone's just kind of going here and driving slow and no one's getting raging at anything.
Yeah.
You go along to the market and this is when it really kind of became apparent that like anger is something, the way that is perceived over there is so different from here. Whereas people are kind of, you run into a Scottish person, you kind of expect them to be angry at something.
Yep.
You know,
there's a lot going on.
We use the word raging to describe any form of mild discomfort. You know what I mean? That shows you how angry you are as a nation. So in Cambodia, you go over there and like, I would go into the market, especially when I was learning the language, and you're walking around and like, everything's new. There's like meat hanging up here. There's chickens running around. There's people doing their shopping on the back of a motorbike. They're taking their entire family. I've seen people taking cows around on the back of motorbikes. You know, a whole cow, hog-tied on the back of a bike. Several pigs hanging off of the back. All kinds of fucking things, right? So it's all kicking off. It's beautiful colors and smells, and it's an incredible experience. But you don't know what's going on. You can't speak to anyone. And so I started taking Cambodian lessons, and pretty soon after I started, I could like string a sentence together.
What is the language in Cambodia? Is it Thai? No.
Khmer.
Khmer.
So it's similar to
I say
Thai.
that as if, Khmer.
Right, yeah. Well, it's similar to, right, okay, so again, potted history of Cambodia. Cambodia used to be, if you think about Southeast Asia as a whole region, Cambodia is where it really started.
Right.
That's the epicenter of what has become Southeast Asia as we know it today. There was a lot of Indian influence and a lot of Chinese influence early on, and there were wars, obviously, and the Khmer's won the wars.
Right.
And so they got to, I think they were kind of in charge of the area at the same time that the Mongols were kind of doing their thing up here.
Right, okay.
You know? The reason they were able to maintain their empire is because they were able to harness irrigation, they were able to keep their armies fed with the rice that they grew, blah, blah, blah.
And because everybody's pretty generally chilled as well.
Right,
Like,
okay.
listen, the Khmer's are doing all right. Why
Right,
rock the boat?
Even the wars
Could
were
be worse.
probably quite chill.
Aye,
Yeah,
could be the Mongols.
Right.
Let's just
Right,
let's be happy with what we've got here. Right. Khmer. It sounds cool.
Right.
Let's just leave it at that.
And so we had like modern Cambodia is very small, but they used to kind of run everything up to like Burma all the way up to top of Vietnam. It was like
Right, okay.
that was the Khmer Empire. And so Thailand, you know, the Siam at the time, they ended up fighting with the Khmer's and they became the dominant force in the region for a long time. And a lot of that traditional Thai culture is actually, if you go back further, it's from traditional Khmer culture, which also has, you know, stuff taken from old Cham culture and stuff like that. So it's this kind of, where did it start? Khmer's were the first ones that really kind of popularized it around that region because they dominated the region.
Right.
You know? What was I talking about?
The language.
The language, right. So it's similar to
what lingo do they fucking speak?
Just cut in and tell me, like, just get back on fucking point, man. So the language. So I'd go into the market, and you get this very foreign language. It's not tonal like Chinese or Thai, but it's very difficult. The pronunciation is difficult. It's completely foreign. There's no past tenses. Very few prepositions. Like when you compare it to English, it's very, very different.
Right.
And I'd go in there, and I could speak a couple of sentences, thinking like they're gonna love me. Everyone's going to come over. They're going to help
You're
me
like,
out.
the Thai phones.
Right.
Just hitting my cut, and the whole place just goes still and go, holy fucking shit.
He's the man. He's the fucking man.
He's our Scottish guy. You can fuck off, Tom.
So, so when I first went in, I thought that was all going to happen.
Yeah.
And what the reality was, I went in, and as soon as I opened my mouth, everyone in the vicinity just started laughing in my face.
Amazing.
Just
Do you know what?
laughing
Amazing.
right in my face. And I'm like, I do that thing where I'd kind of start to get frustrated, and I'd repeat the thing that is really wrong in the first place and just sounds ridiculous.
Yep.
So I'd just keep repeating it, more animated, getting more fucking angry. And this is just like, there's more people coming from inside the shops. And before you know it, you've just got all these old ladies were the worst, man. They're just ruthless. They're just like, and they're talking back to me, and they're talking to each other like, look at this cunt, man. Look at him. You know what I mean?
Like, this is the best response to a stand-up set I've ever had in my life, man.
This is like way better than comedy. and I'm like, and I'm weirdly getting as frustrated, and my anger is as palpable. But all of these guys are just out there and like that. So I'd like leave the markets like with my tail between my legs, like fuck it.
Do you know what?
Is this, man?
I do like sometimes where I saw a quote thing at the weekend, right? It's talking about if you want to hate the world, watch the news. And if you want to love the world, travel within it, right? And I'm going, that's quite deep for a Sunday. There's something within that. And I'm like, nothing is ever as bad as it seems, I feel, right? And sometimes when I think, like, with the media and press and everything else pushing this country, like, oh, everybody's racist and we're all against each other. I'm like, well, better for example, try and go to a market in Cambodia and speak the language to see how welcoming the response is.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking idiot.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. They still do it.
Yeah.
Like even years later when I was like pretty fluent, they're still doing it. You always run into someone that doesn't, because the idea with the tour there was we'd go to places where you don't see any foreigners. There are no foreigners going there. The people who work there are not dealing with foreigners. So in Siem Reap, for example, there was a lot of people spoke English because it's a tourist town. Yeah. Some of these guides are speaking Russian and Italian and German. They're very motivated to learn a foreign language because of tourism. But in the markets, they're not, because their customers are all Cambodian.
Yep.
So they don't need to speak English. And so they see me turning up and they're like, and they hear me speaking, they're just like, what the fuck?
Aye.
Like, and their response, like, is almost like an anxiety response. They just start laughing at stuff. But I didn't really know that. And so I was getting, a couple of times, I'm like, fuck is the matter with you people, man?
I'm trying.
This is fucking bullshit. And I'd be like standing there in full Scotland mode, like, this is fucking shite in the middle of a Cambodian market. And they're just like, what the fuck, man? Who is this guy?
Dude, it's wild how life gets you in some situations, isn't it?
Over time, they accepted me, but like that initial...
Like when that time when you walked into that forest on the banks of Loch Ness, did you ever think I'm going to be standing screaming at somebody in a Cambodian market soon, fighting for my life because I want 2 pigs off him?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's one of these things, and I knew I had to do it, so you keep going back. But like the tour in Cambodia was like such a pleasure. I mean, it was just such a buzz to do it every day, and just such a change from kitchen work, because I'd like spent most of my professional life in kitchens, and all of a sudden you're like, and people are coming around, and the tour there was like fairly easy to do in the end, as long as you learn the language. And I had ultimate respect for the culture and the people, and it really quickly became apparent that the tour wasn't just about eating, it wasn't just about food, you're about the people, you're about the culture, you're about getting people away from the touristy bit and just kind of going like, this is the day-to-day here,
So now I take it that's tourists that are coming in and signing up for a food tour. So what does that look like? So say I'm there on holiday, right? I'm in Cambodia on holiday, and you are taking how many people are going out at a time?
We kept our groups pretty small, so we have a morning tour, which was like 4 people, but we'll do bigger family groups, and we have an evening tour that goes up to 8 people. So it was always pretty small, and basically 2 different experiences. One of them, morning tour, you go out for some street food,
right,
which is everywhere. There's tons of pork and rice and noodles and just buzzing little stalls, just full of Cambodians going about their day. You go there, you go to the market, which is just all kinds of things going on. And then we get into the countryside, and there's people making noodles for like generations. You know what I mean? It's like rural living. You see people making wine, palm sugar, cakes, and just wee snacky things, wee barbecues on the side of the road and stuff like that. And so there's a lot to eat. But the whole experience, I think, was like, I mean, at the end of the tour, people would always say, "Man, that was awesome." You know, I'd have people come on the tour that didn't eat anything.
Right. Okay.
They'd
Just
have
for the
breakfast.
experience.
Yeah, but they'd come along and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we ate breakfast before we came," and I'm like,
Well, that was stupid.
"All right, it's
Aye.
fine. I mean, it
Aye.
keeps my costs down."
Yeah.
But at the end of the tour, they're like, "Man, that was brilliant. I wish we hadn't eaten breakfast," but they just all appreciated just getting a little bit closer to the culture. Do you know what I mean?
So how did you start to put that? How would you start to put that tour together then? Are you going out? You're just going out and you thought to yourself, I could do this. I could bring, or was somebody else running a tour and you thought, well, if he's doing it, I could do it.
Well, it was my partner's idea. So she was good friends with people who were running a street food tour in Hanoi.
Right.
She did. And we did it together. And to this day, it's one of the best tourist experiences I've had, you know, because Hanoi, there's just incredible street food just everywhere. But it's knowing what the best one is.
Well, that's
It's
the thing.
knowing
That's
literally
my next point,
up this staircase that looks like people get murdered in it every week.
Yeah.
And then up 4 floors, and you've got this beautiful oasis little coffee shop kind of thing. You're like, there's no way. And it kind of does my head in a bit here. Everyone's like, this is a hidden gem with a big fucking neon sign in front of it. Like, it's not hidden.
Listen, I'll show you a hidden gem.
Right.
You got to step over dead bodies to get for a fucking matcha latte, cunt.
And a dogfight. Like, but all of these kinds of things are there, you know. And so we did that tour and it was amazing. And so when she was like that, we'll start a food tour, I was like, yeah, man. And when we went there, it was really just trying to suss out what's going to be interesting, what's away from the touristy bit, what is the kind of stuff that isn't accessible to people who are just here to see Angkor Wat. You know, where can we take them that's going to kind of blow their minds and open them up a little bit to like just, you know, what people do here. And so the morning tour, like I said, you're in the countryside, you're at the market. The evening tour, you're kind of just like, you know, you go to some evening restaurant kind of things, a more barbecues, a couple of beers, you're going to a tuk-tuk, and it's 2 very different experiences. But it is something we just kind of designed the tour ahead of time, which is very different from the tour in Hanoi because it's all about street food. You can walk everywhere. Mm-hmm. In Siem Reap, we had to do it to fit the town. Same in Glasgow, like we had to do it to fit the town. Like, where can you start? What can you get along the way? What are you going to go past? What can you talk about? So it's really just trying to adapt the tour to the city, which was cool. And that took like about a year and a half or something. It was about a year and a half before I was confident enough in my language that I could like start to take people around. And
I take it you're just doing your tourists in English, but you're speaking to vendors in Cambodia.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like the go-between. You know, I'm good in there, and by that point they love me. You know, I mean,
and
people in the market, they're just like, oh, here's this guy. Who have you got today?
Yep.
And it was always quite interesting because these were environments where they're not used to seeing non-Cambodians. You know,
because it's not a tourist market,
right?
Yeah.
And I had like, God, there was one tour I did. There was 2 African-American girls on it, big hair, like just really colorful, bright, fun characters. You know what I mean? They were awesome. And they came on the tour, and as soon as we went into the market, everyone's just coming over and touching their hair and just pointing at them like that. But it was such a genuine, kind curiosity that they were like leaning into it. They're like, that, yeah, it's cool. You know, like it, and it was just so interesting to see that compared with, you know, when African Americans are singled out by racists in America, like just the response was really kind of nice. I had like families of like Korean Americans on the tour, and you come over and old women pointing at them like that. Are they Chinese? You know, in Cambodian, but they're pointing at them and saying something. So the guy's like, what's she saying? And they're asking if you're Chinese. And so in that context, it was always kind of okay to find out these things. And it wasn't considered a microaggression or anything. It was just like, these people don't see people like that very often. And so they're naturally quite curious. And it's their environment as well. And they're coming over like, oh, okay, well, what's up with this person? You know, I had one woman on the tour, and they had like adopted a Vietnamese kid and a black kid. And so and they were 2 white people who are living in Taiwan, very well traveled, like, you know, and they were just like, no, it's okay. And the people are coming over like, it's their kid, but they're black and they're Chinese and they're...
How the fuck...
Right, exactly.
Explain.
Exactly, yeah. In so many words, man. They're just like, what's going on here? And they're just like, you know, they're adopted, and
But then, do you know what? See, sometimes, like, and again, I do think a couple of things. I do think that, one, I think that it's important for more young people to have a skill or a trade like what you've got with chefing or cooking or in the kitchen, right, whatever you want to call it. Something that you could take globally. You can take anywhere, right? And you can do a little bit of adapting, and you can be in a kitchen, because a kitchen's a kitchen. You're just cooking different stuff, right? I would imagine. And I think if more people had a focus on getting themselves some kind of skill that is transferable across the world, and then in your early 20s, or even up to your whatever age you want to be, travel, see the world, stay as long as you can, do a bit of work because you've got a trade, whether it is in cooking, whether it's, you know, a joiner or whatever it may be that's transferable. Or if you're, especially after COVID, if you're lucky enough to have a job where you do not have to be in an office, you can work remote, why the fuck would you still be here? Travel a bit and experience things. Go back to that stuff about being in the market. I do think there's something quite nice about people being inquisitive as to other cultures and other people, and it not being instantly taken as racism or aggression, or, you know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, we don't see anyone in this market like that. Do you know what I mean? I imagine there's probably people as well who are in that experience of going to Cambodia, and it must just be, as soon as they go off the plane, like a complete shock, as in, what the fuck, where am I? Like, this is too much. Have you ever had people come out on a tour and it's just like, I need to get back to the hotel, I can't cope with this?
Not really. Like, a lot of the people we would get on the tour were already quite adventurous. I mean, we had a lot of Americans.
I suppose,
like,
I mean, you're not going to Cambodia.
Right. We were written up in the New York Times quite soon after.
Right.
I'm just dropping that in there.
Mean,
just,
Jesus,
you know,
we're 20 minutes in.
We're a New York
and
Times.
the New York Times fucking bomb getting dropped.
Also written up in New York Vogue as well.
Oh,
so,
my
like, you know,
God.
we still get customers from that.
Oh, mate.
All of these things, you know.
Now,
And
when
so-
are you getting Vogue Scotland to come over?
Is there a Vogue Scotland?
Oh, there should be. There fucking should be. I think it's called The Digger. Now, that's the write-up you really need.
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
get
Jesus,
The Digger
man.
on
Yeah,
the Barris
yeah,
food
yeah.
tour,
Oh my
now we're
God.
talking.
Yeah. They're gonna new press strategy is just unfolding right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we got all our the majority of our customers were like, you know, New York Times readers. They're well traveled. They're coming on the tour. They are just like, take us wherever you want. You know, we very rarely have people who are like, no, I don't like this. I did have like, they were like, I had a bunch of girls from New York. They were young. We'd been written up in the Times, and they came out and they were just like, they turned up with Prada bags and all very, very
assholes.
nice clothes. I'm not saying
I'll
that.
say it. Assholes. Right? You're
They were
talking
very
to Mrs.
nice. They
going,
were nice.
this is what happens when we're in the New York Times. We get New York assholes. Right?
No,
We're
look,
taking you into the jungle, ladies.
They were very
Let's
nice,
go.
but that's basically what happened. I mean, you're taking them around the market, and they're just like, oh my god, like screaming, like, oh my god, they're like hitting that fish over the head with a cleaver, and
Aye,
you're like,
that's going to be you in a minute.
yeah,
Calm down. Fucking
they're like,
rein
yeah,
it in.
that's kind of what they do, and I'm standing there like, yeah, this is what you signed up for, you know what I mean? So we got out the market kind of quickly. I did have like, there was one family I had, and it was, they were Australian, and this was like one of my favorite tours ever, because like it was a group of 10, and in these big family groups, there's always 2 people very keen, really into it, and the other 8 are just being dragged along.
Yes.
And so they're just being sarcastic from the word go. We're walking into places, and most of them are going like that. Are we going to get diarrhea from eating here or something? They're just looking at stuff like with this look on their face, like, what the fuck is that? And like,
Shit.
it's a fish. Yeah, it's a fish.
Are we going to get diarrhea? Let's hope so.
Right, yeah. So I'm taking these people around, and you know, the 2 people that are into it are just a joy. You know, they're great. I'm just directing the whole tour at them. And it was like, you know, 3 generations. So you had the granddad, you had the brothers or whatever, and you had all the kids cutting about. We do the whole tour, and the granddad's sitting there, and he's just like, just scowl on his face for the whole tour, you know. And I'm just like, I'm going to break this guy. I'm going to get through to him. So every time we're going, I'm like, so where are you from? What are you up to? And they're Australian. So I'm like, what footy teams do you support? Rugby? Or what? I lived in Australia for a couple of years, and really trying to break him down. I'm like, just not getting anywhere. And so we get to this one restaurant, and it's like this out of the way place where, you know, if you want, they'll get you a python. You know, they'll get you like endangered animals, right?
What a line. That was not what I was expecting. I thought it was like a window seat.
No. On the subject of...
You are a python?
Right. Honestly, man, the owner would come in sometimes, bare-breasted, drunk out his mind, and he's like, "I'm drinking beer with my Russian friends. We're all eating snake. Do you want some?" And we're like, "That? Nah, it's cool." Because that's illegal over there, and I can't be getting in and eating stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because they could be like, you need some statistics. We've got a foreigner or a bunch of guys here eating an endangered animal. Good press, like come and arrest him. Because all the police are eating there as well. All the people eating there are all army officials. They're all eating python. They're the ones that are eating the endangered stuff, right? It's on the subject of pythons. Like honestly, like I have a Cambodian friend, and you'll appreciate this, who literally cut open a python in his garden with a homemade machete to pull his goose out of its belly.
Keep talking.
So that he could bury the goose.
Mate.
With respect. Do you know what I mean?
R.I.P. goose.
And that was my old goose as well.
Yeah.
That was a goose. We had to give it to him, man.
See, if you told me that story and then went and guessed the country, Cambodia would have been first.
Yeah.
Right, straight up there. But that's the kind of shit I want in my food tour.
Right, yeah, right.
When are we going to... Now, that's how you get 3 Michelin stars.
Yeah.
You
That's
fucking
the 3
cook a
Michelin-star
goose
Cambodian
and a
food
python
tour,
and then cut it out.
Yeah.
That's
With a
like
homemade machete.
Was it the turducken or whatever it is? A duck instead of chicken up a fucking donkey. It's a goose and a python in a pit wrapped in banana leaf. But it's all organic, man.
There's a market for it, man.
Oh, dude. The New York Times would love that
But
shit.
that's like the kind of thing. I mean, I don't know any Scottish people that have done that. I've got a lot of
Well.
friends in Scotland. No one's got that story. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's a chihuahua and
That's-
a fucking pit bull and an XL bully.
I had to choke out a pit bull to save my chihuahua.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing. So we go into this anyway. Go into this restaurant, and there's like 10 of us sitting around. It's quite a big group, and I'm doing my best to kind of engage everyone. And they're just like, fucking flies around here, and the two, I'm just directing it at the 2 people. Anyway, after a while, one of the kids pipes up and she's like, there's wee puppies running around the restaurant. There's always dogs everywhere.
Yep.
And she looks over and there's a wee dog there, and she's like, I want a dog. And like without skipping a beat, without skipping a beat, I was like, well, they take about 20 minutes to cook.
Oh, no.
Which is a great fucking joke, right? It's a great timing.
Mate, absolutely.
Perfect, right?
Literally.
And everyone at the table, just stony fucking silence. No one laughed, apart from the granddad,
Brilliant.
who just bursts out laughing.
Yes.
And then for the rest of the tour, he's my best mate.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what you want. But it's like trying to work a room. You need to find out what they want. I don't know the level yet. Right? So, upsetting the grandkids, eating Doug's, good. Right?
Yeah,
I've got
good,
you on
yeah.
board.
I just wanted him on board. Like the rest, a lot of the others, I was like, right, I don't think you're into this. That's fair enough. But him, I was like, I'm going to make you laugh.
Again, mate, it's the culture thing. It's the Scottish humour.
It's
Do you
the
know what I mean?
context. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
aye.
You can't go on stage
Tw-
in Scotland
20
and
minutes.
say that. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
It's just, you can't do it.
That is a perfect joke as well.
Perfect.
Aye.
I still live by. Best joke I've ever dropped, man.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. You know
It's good to know that the old boy was listening at that exact moment. Ideal.
Could have heard a fucking pin drop, man. In 3 seconds,
Yeah.
just, man, I'm getting a 1-star review on TripAdvisor for this. You know what I mean? Because you're in fear of that. Like, that's
Well, that's the thing.
you're
You'll live and die with the
constantly in fear.
reviews.
I mean, I still hate the people that left average reviews for us. There's very few, but I remember all of them.
Yeah, and then I suppose, like I've said it before, with it's slightly different in like with stand up when people would get reviewed and they'd give you the usual bullshit of like, oh, it's a 3-star, but it reads like a 5. And you're like, who gives a fuck, man? Because it's not your. I've always thought it doesn't affect your stand up, right? And I've said from the start, when it comes to things like that, when it's stuff that's like artistic, if you believe the good, you've got to believe the bad, right? So it's all box. And you'll get people who come along to stand up and they love it, but they would never leave a review. You get people who write up like 5 stars and you go, well, that reads absolute box. But when it's a business, when it's something like tourism or like, what my wife does, the 5-star reviews are, and it's such a shame that these things carry such currency. I've often said, like, see the reviews, they shouldn't be stars. There should be no stars on it. You should be forced to read it because people will just see like, I've done it myself. I've been on a couple of businesses, again mostly restaurants, and it will say like the Google thing will be like 4.4 out of 5, 4.8 out of 5, and then there'll be one that's like 5 out of 5, and you're going, well, I'll take the one that's 5 out of 5, even though you're not saying they've only had 6 reviews. And the other one said like 40,000 reviews. So you're going, well, that's obviously a better thing there. But I do think people need to be more aware of what they're But I think that's a social media thing as well. People just think I can put anything out in the world and nothing's going to come back to me.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the. I mean, I'm a small business owner. See, having to I like creating content for Instagram. I actually like the process of taking a picture and stylizing it a bit, making a wee reel. I like that process. I just hate how necessary it's become.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You need to be visible.
Yeah.
And it's not even we won't get we don't give free tours to people generally. In Cambodia, the amount of with YouTube guys that, hey, we've got 2 million subscribers. We just don't do it because they want something for free.
And this is your business.
And you're on that platform, but it's we've done that in the past. We've just never gotten business. It never drives any business for us, you know. We had we were on a Ukrainian travel program actually.
Brilliant. Mate, this is amazing.
We were.
Of course you were. This is just adding in the fact that you're Cambodia. A spy. That you're a spy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have no opinion on the Ukraine conflict. Okay. I just want
next year would tell you the Ayatollah on a fucking tour as well. How much is diesel going up this week? Tell me.
I can. You know.
I don't get the daily briefings anymore.
Well, certainly not now. We got so this Ukrainian TV show reached out, and it's this it's this big deal TV show in Ukraine. They get millions of viewers on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, well, pay us for the tour, and they're like, oh well, you'll get publicity, and we're like, yeah, but I can get paying customers to come and do the tour. Why do I want to do your thing for free? So I can fucking target the Ukrainian market. Yeah. I don't know.
So it's not free because you've got costs.
Exactly. So we ended up haggling it down. They ended up paying for the tour. But I was trying to get them on the morning. I'm like, go on the morning tour. It's going to be better. And no, the way we're doing it. But anyway, we ended up on the evening tour. And it's this Ukrainian model, this unbelievably beautiful woman on the tour, right? And I'm chatting away to her, and they're fucking late, So I'm turning up, and she's just come out the pool, and she's doing all this kind of thing. Yeah. And I'm like,
do you like dogs?
Fucking right. So take me 20 minutes to cook. I need to phone ahead.
Make sure there's hundreds of puppies running about because I need to set this up.
So this guy turns out they've got the camera guy. The producer was lovely. I still remember she's a lovely girl. And we turn up. She's there, and they get the Russian fixer there, and you get the camera guy and the star of the show. So she's doing her thing in her bikini over here, and the cameraman's over here, and he's this young kind of camera bro, and he's like that. Yep. So can we eat some bear? And I'm like, absolutely fucking not. There is no fucking way that we're going to eat bear. See all this python, all this, it's illegal. I could go to prison if I get caught doing it. There's no way you're filming it and doing it. Yep. It's not happening. But what can we I'm like, well, see if he's been on time, there'd be a bunch of other stuff we could get. But because he's are now late, we need to go and just take what's left. Anyway, long story short, we end up going up to the night market where it's all the kind of most photogenic stuff. And I get them a stuffed frog. It's like a frog. It's a whole frog. It's stuffed with curried pork. It's delicious. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
Mate, it's not, right? This is fucking some cantina scene for Star Wars. See, as soon as you said frog,
so fucking banging.
I can guarantee you, the 6 people who watch this podcast, nobody's going, I want a stuffed frog.
I'm saturating the market this week. I've been on Dream Menu. I've filmed myself for. I'm now on your podcast. I can't wait to get an extra follower. And if you're out there, follow me. I need the traction.
The Scottish Stuffed Frog Society will be following you.
But we got her this, and it's fucking delicious. Anyway, we give it to her, and she kind of puts it in her mouth. And then as soon as the camera stops, she starts spitting it out.
What do you want her to do, Stephen? No. You want her to eat a frog? I mean, for fuck's sake. I'm going to have to stand up for the Ukrainian bikini model here.
Right, okay.
See, this is what I'm talking about earlier on. If I'd came out to Cambodia and been on a tour, I'd be like, wow, holy shit, am I going to get diarrhea? This is brilliant. And then you went, you want a stuffed frog? About it? You take the fucking cunt, mate.
They wanted the weird stuff. So I had to.
Right, let's pause that. Let's pause that for a second, right? The frog. Now, are we talking toad size, like the size of my palm?
Yeah.
Right, and it's just a full frog, and you stuff the cunt.
It's been skinned.
Oh, well, in that case, give me 6.
Right, it's been skinned. I
would hope so.
It's been skinned, and it's been put on a piece of bamboo in such a way that it looks like a fucking frog that's had its head cut off, but there's sausage meat spilling out of it. I mean, it tastes like chicken. I mean, it's good, man.
It's a bone. Did they debone it? Can you eat it whole, or do you
Well,
need
there's
it?
nothing in a frog's body, so they just kind of.
They don't get bones.
Well, they do, but you don't eat the spine. So that basically, you know the thing that inflates when they. You just shove sausage meat into that. Spiced sausage meat. And then I'll tell you another
You're
story.
saying this
Actually,
as if it's the
know.
most common thing ever.
On the subject of frogs, I'll tell you a good story. Actually, this was a family. There was family of 4, and one of the kids was like, I don't know if he was ADD or whatever. I mean, he was very kind of like funny kind of kid, very energetic, kind of, and I'm having a good time hanging out with him. Do you know what I mean? The parents are enjoying that he's asking all these questions. I'm taking him around in the tuk-tuk. Chatting away, we eat some pork and rice. We go to the market. All the old ladies at the market love him because he's like funny and he's cute and he's running around and he's kind of, he's just good wee kid, you know what I mean? And so I take him up the back bit of the market. There's a lot of like vendors, just they've got their produce on the ground and stuff. You get some wild herbs and there's a lot of like medicine and stuff like that. You see the odd kind of, like they used to sell like fried tarantulas as well.
Wow.
Which is a very kind of gimmicky thing in Cambodia now, but there was actually a woman up the back of the market with a bucket of live tarantulas.
Disgusting.
And she'd just like spear one of them and put it into a wok filled with hot oil, and then you just eat it. And it's actually quite nice, man. But
Mate, honest to God, man, this is not real life. This is not real life, man. I
swear to
like
fucking
it's
God,
not real
man.
life.
And she's not there anymore. I don't know what
Oh
happened
no,
to her,
wonder.
right?
Aye, fucking
But-
MI5 took it away.
So anyway, she wasn't there, but like we're up the back of the market and we get around and there's someone selling frogs. All right.
Right.
And these are not butchered off site. All right. This is
Yep.
someone sitting there with a sack
Yep.
full of live frogs.
Yep.
And what they were doing, the way they do it is they just lop the head off and skin it in like one motion and throw it on a pile. And so we walk a pile. It's a pile of
So
fucking
it's halal.
skinned, right? Skinned. Well, they don't have hooves, man. So it's all good, man. you know.
Hoofless frogs.
Right. And so you got this pile of just dead frogs, man. And like we walk past, and the kid's like, I'm like that to him. Oh, you'll like this. Come and see this. Because he was like kind of into like gross stuff. And we turn up, and I swear to fuck, at the exact moment we turn up, they pick up like the biggest frog they had, I think.
Yep.
They cut the head off it, they pull the skin off, and the frog's still moving.
Of course it is.
So it's just like almost like walking towards us with no face. You can see literally into its body cavity.
Yep.
No skin, nerves, muscle, blood, everything on display. And I look at this kid and I'm just like, I'm fucked up. I still think about it, and I look at him and he's just like,
Yeah, he
the
went,
trauma.
Aye, he went home and shot his parents.
right. Well, we were on the tuk-tuk, like after the market, like
That kid's fucked, man.
2 hours later on the way back. And
Just
he's
in
just
silence.
like, yeah.
Aye.
And I'm like that. Hey, bro, you all right there? Like, just trying to be nice.
Aye. You all right, dude? You want another frog?
The parents are just like that.
Aye, let it go,
You'll be
man.
fine.
Yeah,
Just
that was too real of an experience.
1,000-yard stare, man. And,
Oh, aye.
they were the ones who were like that. No, just show him everything, man. Like, we want him to see everything. And so that's why I was like, every time I had a kid, and we see the frog people, I'm just like, walk right past that, man. We're not stopping. And people are like, what's that? I'm like, it's kind of gross.
That's,
You don't need to see it.
That's a sliding door movement. That's what
Right,
that is.
yeah,
You
yeah,
need
yeah.
to keep going. Do you like the Muppets? Aye, keep moving, son. Keep moving, kid. Would you rather be scared of frogs or spiders?
Or
Fucking-
fish.
or
Jesus,
fish.
man, fish. When a fish just making one last
Swim
fucking
along the
gas-
tank?
Yeah, trying to like get away. No, not even in the tank, like on the fucking ground, because they get mudfish that can survive out of the water for a long time. Of
course
so
they
the
do.
amount of
Of
fish
course
they're
they
just
do.
like walking around, and he just gets someone woke or whatever, just club it over the head,
Mudfish.
and just throw it back. Yeah,
Like,
it's
why
just-
why is Elon Musk spending money going to Mars? Let's just colonize Cambodia. Mudfish, fucking stuffed frogs, and tarantulas.
Banging,
right
man.
away, mate.
So
like,
nice.
honestly, see, like when I used to look at your stuff on Instagram when you were out there, and then even when we were chatting, I would sometimes go, God, it was so cool to go out and no. absolutely not.
Well, you see, you're not our market. Then.
No, I'm
You know
not
what
your
I mean?
mark. But I as I have aged, I understand. I think I understand who I am as a person now.
Yeah.
I do think there is a type of person who will go to Southeast Asia, adventure type, paedophile. That's your main target group. I need luxury. I need old empire. That's what I want. Right.
You're going for the more colonial
Yes,
experience,
aye,
right? Okay.
yeah, right. So
taken to the temples on an elephant.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I would have
White
a
suit.
Yes, Yes,
Yeah.
I want a different reaction
Man from
to
Del Monte,
people of a different colour. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
That's what
okay.
I'm not going to point them out in the market. You're going to be carrying me on an elephant, that kind of thing, right? That's what I want.
Ah,
That's
fair
the two. I don't know what my family tree was, but there's definitely some kind of colonial empire-esque
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
With
yeah,
I fall too easy into that.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Let me tell you, I went to Glen Eagles once when I took my mum up for a Mother's Day. And it's the first time I had been. She'd been before, but just for like a kind of Prosecco thing or some shit. So we went in, we had the meal and with champagne and everything. And she was sitting there and she's like, oh, I don't know. It just feels, I'm going, no, these are my people. I could fit in quite easily. I could get used to this, man. I get used to a 6-course lunch and a £140 bottle of champagne at fucking 2 PM. That's going to be me quite easy. See people like, oh,
Well,
no.
you know who you are, man.
Mate, that's it.
You know what
Every
I mean?
now and again, no, I could do that every day. Like, see when they talk about like the Victorians when they would wake up and have like a fucking fry up and then like scone and crumpets. And then I'm
could
like,
do that, yeah,
I could do that easy. How the hell did people have afternoon tea quite fucking easy? Every day? Yes, every day. Sit and write a letter and fucking look out a window and then have another full plate of sandwiches. Thank you. Quite easily. So you're in Cambodia, you're doing the food tours.
So we did the Ukrainian show and blah, blah.
Yeah.
Look, what I was trying to say about that was she was a vegan.
Brilliant.
And so she was just taking all this stuff and spitting it out straight away. And she told me that they'd done this in like 3 Michelin-star restaurants in France.
Mm-hmm.
And she's at the table eating this stuff and then immediately spitting it out. After the waiting staff are like, what the fuck is wrong, man?
Yeah.
Like, you're spitting it out. And they're like, she's like, well, I'm a vegan, it's just for TV. And straight away she's like, this is all bullshit. It's just for the content. It's just, this is the character that I'm playing kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe I suppose there's something quite refreshing about that honesty then. But then
Yeah,
you're going, just make content that's vegan.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, as a chef, as a food person, how do you feel about veganism? Veganism.
I mean, far be it from me, right, to tell somebody what they should and shouldn't eat.
Listen, as an ex-alcoholic angry Scotsman, you're the right person.
No, I mean,
So I had an ex, right, who lived in China for a bit, and she was vegetarian, right?
Jesus, really?
Yeah, and she said she struggled when she was out there because their attitude was, why would you be vegetarian? We have meat. And as she was telling us, I'm going, but that's because they went through years of famine where they could not get meat. So it's that attitude of like, I know some people will say, oh, well, I choose for animal rights reasons, whatever it may be, but there's an attitude of there are parts of the world who genuinely starved, who didn't have a choice on what to eat. So now that they can choose what they eat, why would they choose to be vegetarian?
I mean, veganism, I just sort of feel like eat what you want to eat, but I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing, like any diet stuff, like I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
If it's, this is the right way to do it. I've got a paper saying that you have to eat this. Someone else has got a paper saying you need to eat that. I don't fucking care.
No.
I just eat a nice balanced diet. I eat a bit of everything.
Yep.
I don't eat black licorice. That's all. That's the only fucking thing I don't eat.
You just keep dropping
Mate,
little
it's
nuggets and then moving on as if, what the fuck is, what's happening? What's black licorice? Don't you? Now, I am a man who thinks
I'll tell you
black licorice should be wiped off the map.
100%, man. I get burned when I was a kid by
Licorice
my gran.
all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
same.
like, I'll have a sweet,
Same.
and I eat it. I'm like, what the fuck is
Aye,
this?
that's not a
and in
sweet.
Scandinavia, all the fucking stuff's licorice with chocolate around it.
Horrendous.
It's like, totally.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's the word. It's literally
Mate.
the only thing. And I like aniseed as a flavour. I've had bad experiences with sambuca, but I went back.
Yep. As we all do.
Right. As a kid, just one time, I'm not fucking eating that shit.
Mate,
man.
100%. Like, same. Licorice also is fucking Betty Bassett, whatever his name was. In a
Bassett's
bowl.
Also, yeah.
She's like, take your pick. And you, as a kid, like a kid does, because you're going, holy shit, a whole bucket of sweets in your mouth. You're like, what the fuck have she just done to me?
Horrific.
Why would my gran do this to me? The woman who's meant to love me unconditionally.
Yeah. You just ruined something for me.
Aye.
I mean, it was for the best.
If I was a leader, I would invade a country over licorice, man.
Right.
I'd be like, you need to be wiped out.
It's
It needs to
horrific,
stop.
man.
But the food thing, veganism, I'm kind of with you in the sense of like, I don't buy into the whole.
I think there's a lot of people say like, you should be vegan for animal rights. you
Fuck,
know.
I don't care.
But then, well,
I don't care. It tastes too good.
I was vegan. True story, man. I was vegan for 2 weeks.
Why?
2 days in reality.
it
I was
difficult?
eating like meat broth.
Yeah.
But I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm I'm trying to go meat
Do you know
free.
what? That's the Scottish vegan. I've been vegan for 4 years. All I have is meat broth in the morning. 2 litres of bone broth and square sausage, but that's no meat.
Doesn't count if it's breakfast. Doesn't count for breakfast.
Exactly.
It's only dinner.
Aye.
But like, I just couldn't do it. And the thing that kind of bothered me on reflection, like the reason I did it was because I watched the whacking. Have you seen Earthlings?
No.
Never watched this movie. I mean, it is just 2 hours of Joaquin Phoenix narrating all of the unbelievably horrific things that we do to animals.
Right.
It's just, I was in tears for the entire movie. It's so upsetting. And like the thing that I object to about veganism is I went on Twitter. I was so moved by it. I was going to get rid of my leather jacket, only wear hemp shoes, like just all this kind of shit. Man.
Full in.
Right. And so I went on Twitter and I was like, man, I've just watched Earthlings and I'm giving up. I can't believe it. And like, I had like 100 followers or something. No one engaged with anything I posted on Twitter ever. You know, why would they? It was all shite anyway. But like, it's just like, I didn't have a following. I had like 10 different people contact me via private message going like that. Oh, we'll help you out. Like, you're making the right choice. Culty as fuck.
Yes.
Very culty. Like, welcome to our side. Like, you're on our team. We're going to and that's because it's propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, that is what propaganda does. It gets you interested in the cult, and then all the people there just fucking pull you in.
Yep.
And I do think there are many vegans out there who are doing it for what they believe to be the right reasons and for health reasons or whatever the reason is. But there is this massively culty element that I think
Huge.
is like horrific. Like, I mean, and that is what is to be avoided because I do think there's a lot of ideology in there. Plus, vegan food isn't by itself healthy. Like,
You can get fat vegans. Just eat chips.
and there's so much vegan junk food. Like, people going out of their way to like, hey, it's like meat, but like, yeah, but it's not. It's kind of not.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, there's these things that are just like pure gluten. Like, why do you want to eat pure gluten? Like, it's not good. Oh, but it's a texture. You're like, eh. Really? And I also like the soy farm. I mean, all this kind of thing. Like, for all the fucking over farming that people talk about the meat industry, like they're over harvesting soy and quinoa and stuff like all these other things. Like, it's just this mass production.
Yep.
And anything that encourages mass production of something is probably bad in the long run for, you know, the layman.
Yeah, no, totally. Totally. And like you said, it's that idea of like you're part of, you know, this is my tribe, these are my people.
Yeah.
And I'm in there now. It's my job to then recruit more. I always remember somebody once telling me, I saw a thing on Instagram, and this was years ago, right? So this was when Trump was running for his first term in America. And the post was, apparently somehow someone found out that the guy who owned, is it Oatly? The oat milk company had given money to the Republican Party. And for that reason, everybody was to boycott Oatly, right? And I'm going, this is where we've got to now in the vegan movement. We're boycotting oat milk because somebody who, you know, maybe owns part of it is giving. I'm going, get a grip, guys, man. It's just about animals or what?
Anymore.
You can't even have an oat latte anymore. But the vegan stuff, I always think like, and I don't know enough about food and its taste, right? I've had some nice meals and I've tasted, but see if you put a steak, like 2 steaks down and went, right, what one do you prefer? And I'm going, well, they both taste really good. Well, that cow was hit in the face with a shovel before we shot it. Oh, I don't know and I don't care. Right, steak, right? I hope that all the meat I've consumed, you know, somebody was there fucking reading the Enid Blyton novels before they put it down. But I imagine, you know, I mean, I grew up, I was born in the 80s, right? So we grew up eating fucking bird's eye.
Yeah.
I mean, that chicken was not chicken. Like, I don't know what the because I remember once having a fucking vegan, like, fake chicken steak thing, right? And I'm going, this is just the chicken I used to eat when I was young, because it's probably like 3% chicken in it.
Yeah.
Or even now, when you like, I've said to you before when we were talking, we stopped buying processed food, so just make everything. So we just buy meat, veg, that kind of shit, and then just make pasta sauces or make dinners, but it's always stepped away from, so we don't have any processed food in the house now. And it's actually cheaper than buying ready meals. Yeah. Like, because even, I see it now, I used to buy it all the time, it's like 3 for a tenner on Tesco. And I'm going, well, that is like, feeds one person. So if there's 3 in the house, that's a tenner a night. Whereas for a tenner, you could make a meal that could feed 60 quite easily. Mm-hmm. And since then, I found that my health changed, my diet changed. I did start to lose a wee bit of weight as well as other things. But then when I was looking at one night we were making a katsu curry thing and nipped out of Tesco, just bought these pre-breaded chicken breast kind of thing, and it was the first time when I cut in it and I'm going, what the fuck is this? Like, this is not meat. This is just processed. This is the shit they spray off the bottom of the fucking barrel.
And it's preservatives and stuff as well. Like, you don't know what they're putting in it. It's much better to have like just whole food.
Yeah, totally.
Because we're the same. Like, and like I said, like we just eat everything. We eat a nice balanced meal. And I think that there's just as much propaganda on the meat only side as well. You know, it's just everyone's trying to sort of get you in there. But I do think, and I mean, I know everyone used to be, gluten free, but I mean, celiac is a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, people do die because of it. And so you need to take these kind of things seriously. But with the veganism, also, it's just so much of it's just so sanctimonious as well. It's just difficult to...
to see the truth from it, because I always feel, see now, especially with social media, there's too much out there. Like, there was a guy on that I saw, I think I started following him, so I think he's a baker, right? And his whole thing is that, I don't know if his daughter, don't know who, somebody in his family is celiac, and his whole thing was that's how he became a baker or got into it. So he's now got his own bakery, right? And he sells bread and whatnot. But I liked the guy because he seemed... like, us, he seemed quite normal. Like, he's shouting at the camera, going, like, they're talking shite. And I'm going, I like this guy. This isn't some West End wanker that's selling fucking, I don't know, apricot scones for £8.
They just have no personality and they want to be something.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And his whole thing was, if you are gluten intolerant, it doesn't mean you can't eat bread. It just means you need...
I know the guy you're talking about.
You eat good bread. You need to eat this kind of bread. Don't eat fucking shite of this. This will not give you a sore stomach. And he's talking food, and I'm going, right, I quite like it. I'm going, well, that should be more, that kind of education around food should be more out there. But then, as I say that, I go, well, that doesn't make money. It makes money for, Warbins doesn't make money if somebody goes and buys good bread. They make money by you buying a shite loaf for £1 that will last a month in your cupboard. I mean, that's how they make money.
Yeah. And it really does. I mean, we've got like Mother's Pride in the house because she does this food waste thing. We always have like loaves of Mother's Pride that you can't give them away. And they're just sitting there like, you open it up after 2 weeks, it's still fine.
Dude, it wasn't until I looked at, so I had a crumpet, right? Warbin's crumpet. And I took it out, and it was, I mean, you could hammer nails in it, right? Solid. And I'm going, there's no mould on it. I went, fuck it, let's get in the toaster. In the toaster for a bit longer, butter on it, it was fine. See, when I looked at the packet, mate, it was literally a month past the use-by date. And I'm going, what is in that? And people will joke about, if you leave a McDonald's burger for fucking 8 years, it still looks exactly the same.
There's a guy that's doing that.
The one he's putting the epoxy or the resin stuff.
No. I think there's someone with like...
Oh, is this a guy with a live? He's got a live feed on it? Right,
yeah, and he checks in every now and again. He's like, look, it still kind of looks like it did when I bought it 9 years ago. Right.
But we still eat it.
I know. I mean, McDonald's, I feel so dirty after I eat it every time,
Dude,
man.
I
still go back now and again. Now and again, I'm just like, I just kind of want that...
that filth.
That kind of filth, and it never fails to make me feel...
It's like as you get older, right? You're more aware of everything around you. You're more aware of the world that you live in. So we know that the stuff's bad for us. It's like people when you see they go, they cheated on their wife, and you see their wife and you're like, she's an absolute fucking smoking... Why would you do that? Because sometimes he wants a stinking McDonald's. Right. You're driving past McDonald's, you're like, there's a voice in your head going, go in there. You're like, no. And then you find yourself in the drive-thru. You're like, what am I doing here? Tell you what I'll do. I'll just get a cheeseburger, and then before you know it, you're like 2 double quarter pounders and 20 nuggets.
And the regret afterwards is just so awful. Immediate.
But as it's going down, it feels amazing.
Yeah. It's just as soon as I'm finished, I'm like, God,
what have I done?
What did I do that for, man?
Where's KFC? Let's go in there now.
Right.
It's grim, man. But it's
and they're everywhere as well. That's the thing as well. Like with fast food and just chains, they just like I'm a big believer in like supporting small businesses, especially food businesses. Like it's difficult to, I think, run a food business nowadays when you're competing against big money, and big chains and big groups and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, the same groups I think own most of the pubs in Glasgow. Yeah, and how do you compete with that?
Even things like coffee shops as well, man. Like I had a friend who I used to work with years ago in call centres, and she had a couple of things happen in her life, so she stepped away from that. And then a friend of hers was buying up Starbucks franchises. So I think they're like $250,000 each to buy a Starbucks franchise. And he had like 5 of them or something. He was saying, look, I need somebody to run the admin side of it. Can you do that? She's like, perfect. And I'm going, every time I go to a Starbucks, it's busy. But I'm like, how many people are here because this is Starbucks? As in, it's cool to post a picture or how many are here for a good coffee? Because there will be a coffee shop within a 5-minute walk here that's a far better coffee than what you're getting in this place. But I think it's accessible, and it's just that thing. It's easy to get, and it allows people to have that Instagram lifestyle.
Well, even like a lot of the small businesses, I think. Like, I mean, like, I was at like Cotton Rake the other week, which I like going to. It's big, you know, they do decent scones. The coffee's not bad. You know, the staff's nice. I go there, but they were full, and, you know, I'd going to meet my friend. And I walked up Great Western Road on a Sunday, past about 7 coffee shops, all with queues out the door.
Yeah.
All kind of selling the same thing.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm like, do we need more of these?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's the motivation to open that kind of business now? You know, it's like, because costs are going up, you know, staff costs are going up, everything's going up, cost of living's going up, but people aren't earning anymore. So how do you equate that? And then Cotton Rake actually posted a couple of weeks ago saying that, like, you know, prices are going up, so we need to put our prices up, which I thought was cool to explain why the prices are going up. Because people, you're just getting priced out of, like, even coffee and a scone is becoming too expensive for people.
Yeah, becoming a choice.
You can't make it and you can't go and have it because everything's just going up. But, like, I don't know. I mean, Instagram, like I said, I like posting on it, but I find the whole thing, the whole culture surrounding small businesses and the need to post has just spawned this kind of like food influencer culture, which is another aspect of it that, you know, I don't blame the people, but I do think the culture itself can ultimately be a little bit more detrimental to the way that the food industry evolves, because now you've got like businesses that kind of rely on that kind of publicity and these accounts, like some of them I think are decent, you know, some of them I do listen to, but for the most part, I feel like they're you know, they're doing it in exchange for free food, which again, I don't fault them for, but I've been stung too many times by going to a food business where it looks good on Instagram.
100%.
And you go there and it's like really mid. And you're like, this is kind of...
Mate, 100%. I find, especially in Scotland.
Right. Well, see the amount of food accounts. Like, since I've been doing Patter and Scran, like the amount of food accounts. It's this person eating this in Glasgow and food and this. It's all the same thing. Somewhere opens, everyone just goes there so that they can post. And it does seem like they're more concerned with growing their account than actually what they're eating. You know, and you can kind of tell. There are a couple of accounts, like there's one account that I quite like, the Glasgow Gannets. It's like just 2 girls. They've been doing it a long time. They seem to have cracked the code whereby they're kind of not always positive about everything, but you can kind of read between the lines enough, because I think they know that they have enough power that they could damage a business. And I think they're quite good at just framing it in such a way where you actually do listen to what they're saying. You're like, okay, like that seems a bit more kind of, rather than being like, this is amazing, it's a hidden gem, it's authentic, blah, blah, blah. And we were invited here, and it's like, okay, you're an advert. You know, it's an advertising platform. You've built a platform that you can now be a sounding board. Like, you can be the advert, but they're not. I don't necessarily take them seriously in terms of their opinions on food. You know, oh, it's the best taco I've ever had. Like, well, what are we comparing that to? You know, if you're 20, have you been to Mexico? How many tacos have you eaten? You know, Taco Bell.
Horrendous.
How much further back are we going?
Will we get diarrhea here?
I've still not been.
Dude, I've been once, and I'll never, ever go back.
See, my partner's American, and she kind of has a bit of a fondness for Taco Bell.
I think it's one of those things where I think if you're not American, then you will never adopt it. I think it's one of the things where it's like they seem to take pride in how bad it is.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? As in, like, it's a rite of passage. Like, you go to Taco Bell, have awful food, shit your guts out, and then continue on with life.
Well, you see, I kind of think that's... I kind of feel that way about Greg's as well. Like,
well,
it's consistent.
I
go into Greg's and I know what I'm getting. Every time. And it's like
pure disdain from the staff.
Right.
And then either too much salt, too much sugar.
And it's just like, you know, like, I don't normally do it, but the other day I got a steak bake and it was so... I was like, dude, can you heat this up, man? That's like freezing cold.
Like, no, the Tories took that away first.
But he was just like, oh, they're all cold.
Aye.
Like, all right, what about the chicken bakes?
Mate.
They're all cold as
Aye.
well. The cheese and onions, everything was fucking cold.
Yep.
I'm like, why have you got so many? They don't care.
No,
They're just like,
but why
man,
would
do you
they?
want it or not? Like,
Aye,
fucking,
dude,
there's a queue.
don't fuck about here, right? Are you some kind of food blogger?
I don't want to alienate myself from Greg's. But like, no, I mean, I've got into a few food businesses and asked them if I can, like, you know, kind of ask you about your product or whatever.
Welcome to the hashtag show. Everyone's welcome. No one is safe. Welcome to the hashtag show.
That's us for the council section of the show. For those of you who want the episode to continue, do not worry, it does. But it does so only for heroes on Patreon. So please go to patreon.com/the hashtag show to enjoy the rest of this episode and also to sign up if you are not yet a hashtag hero. Patreon.com/the hashtag show. Sign up today. Enjoy the rest of this episode. Plenty more conversation with Steven. We talk about the special meat, which is a great story you don't want to miss out on, and lots of other stuff about Cambodia. Mental health, working in restaurants, working in kitchens. So, yeah, the episode continues. Over an hour left of this conversation, only for heroes on Patreon. So sign up to be a hashtag hero today. Support the show, support your old dad, keep the podcast going. Lots of interesting guests coming up, like I said at the start. So, yes, thank you for listening. Those of you on Spotify, please like the episode, share it on your socials, encourage others to listen and watch. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need to try and grow those numbers. And yes, I hope you enjoyed the first part of this episode with Steven. Wonderful guest, amazing to have him in, and great conversation. And it continues on the Patreon for Heroes. So go and sign up now. You deserve it. There's a hero inside all of us, a small hero that wants to know the rest of this and wants to know what special meat is, because it's maybe not what you think it is. Although it maybe is exactly what you think it is when you think about Cambodia and street meat. So who knows? Anyway, get into Patreon, patreon.com/the hashtag show. Sign up, become a hero, enjoy the rest of this episode. And for the rest of the council, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a wonderful little council scumbag. I love yous all. Have a great week. I will speak to yous all next week. And lots of guests coming up this month. So keep listening, keep watching, keep sharing. I love yous all. Take care of yourself. Have a great week. Speak to you soon. Onwards.
Goodbye, dear hero, it's been a blast. For another week we say adios. If you came as friend or even foe, then you should become a hashtag hero. Spread the show as far as you can. 1 million heroes or a lifetime ban. All we do is speak our minds. We hope you're around for the ride. We are the hashtag show. Everyone's welcome. No one is safe. Winter is coming, but we hate snowflakes. This is the hashtag show. Become a hashtag hero. Hey, hey, hey. Become a hashtag hero. Hey, hey, hey. Become a hashtag hero. Until next